Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to SERA Kochi Design Summit 2018, which kickstarts India's largest design festival, SERA Kochi Design Week. Brian Reed has said, everything is designed, but few things are designed well. While the most common association that one makes with the word design is that of aesthetics, in modern day or in modern times, design is way beyond that. Design thinking is actually an ideology in itself, which has application across sectors of life and is a key tool in problem solving of all kinds. It is this perspective of design that we want to bring into fore with the Kochi Design Summit 2018, which is the flagship event of the first ever Kochi Design Week. So while it is the eye that registers design first, which is the inspiration behind the design of the stage, we also understand that it is the mind that perceives the design in its ultimate functionality. Hence, our ambitious dream to design a sustainable ecosystem in technology infrastructure, public infrastructure, tourism infrastructure, and even living spaces through ideas that are generated through this summit. So without any further ado, let's get started with the inaugural ceremony of this two-day design summit. For that, I'd like to call on to the stage our dignitaries. First, Mr. Shibulal, Chairman of High Power IT Committee, Govt of Kerala and ex-CEO of Infosys. Welcome, sir. Mr. SIVASANKAR IAS, Secretary of Electronics and IT and Officer on Special Duty to CM of Kerala. Dr. SAJI GOPINATH, Chief Executive Officer of Kerala Startup Mission. Ms. Anna Laura Farias, Head of Summer School, Copenhagen Institute of Interactive Design. Welcome, ma'am. And finally, Mr. P.K. Shashidharan, Senior Vice President of Marketing, SERA. Welcome, sir. To officially welcome you all on behalf of Govt of Kerala to this first ever Kochi Design Week and this summit in particular, I'd like to call on Mr. SIVASANKAR IAS.
Good afternoon. I'm extremely happy to be here today to welcome you all for the first Design Summit, Kochi Design Summit, which we are kicking off today. There is a brief background to the organizing of this summit. The present government in Kerala had tried to put together a framework within which the importance of knowledge economy and how technology can be leveraged for the better lives of people can be debated, discussed, and put into practice in earnestness. In that context, one of the first things which the government did was to constitute a high-power IT committee headed by Mr. Shibulal and including a number of key professionals from Kerala who have been associated with the knowledge industry and who have done fairly well in their career and who have agreed to spare some time for Kerala. This high-power IT committee started looking at what has been the problems or what has been the issues or what are the major areas where we need to concentrate and move forward. And as part of creating a broader understanding of the challenges which we face, on the issues that we with, we initiated a conversation last year under the title #Future. #Future was all about trying to identify the strengths of Kerala, the possibilities of Kerala, the opportunities of Kerala, and place them in the overall context of the challenge or the opportunity which the technology is posing. All of us who glance through newspapers or serious reading material keep hearing about words like data analytics, augmented reality, virtual reality, blockchain, fintech, and stuff like that. There are also various studies which have been published which says that the future of jobs would be entirely different. There will be a lot of automation, robots would become part and parcel of our lifestyle. And what are the implications that this is going to have on individuals, on the present careers, on the next generation employment seekers? These are all concerns which lot of us have. The Hyper-IT committee assessed this entire scenario, and then they came up with a very interesting recommendation that we need to first start discussing on these aspects among ourselves, so that everybody has an understanding about what are the changes which is happening, and then everybody starts preparing themselves or get conditioned to meet the new challenges or seek the new opportunities. In that context, we organized this conversation, this summit called Hash Future last year, where the audience primarily consisted of professionals from the IT sector, lot of non-resident Keralites, academic people working in the academic sector, startup companies, youngsters, and people who work in brick and mortar industry and commerce. It was a very illuminating 2 days when a whole range of topics, from data, the future of healthcare, to connectivity, to cybersecurity, all these things were discussed. And then at the end of it, we also realized that we have a very well-connected, large diaspora of people who were associated with Kerala, either born in Kerala, who worked in Kerala, who have a passion for Kerala, people who had come to Kerala on a touristy trip, people who had taken a honeymoon in Kerala. So they all wanted to come and reach out to Kerala and help us if we are doing a serious job of it. So after the Hash Future event happened, we decided to create a larger network and continue this conversation. This conversation has been continuing for the last 8 to 10 months. Then this August, the stage had an unprecedented calamity hitting us. We had the massive floods, which right now has been since evaluated as as the largest natural calamity of 2018. This affected the state. We were totally taken aback. We have not seen anything like this except in movies. I, as part of government, had a very traumatic experience in being in this control room for almost 4 days continuously. The situation was very, very moving. This is something which you cannot go through more than once in your lifetime. But the most reassuring part of this experience, or of this natural calamity management, was the way the people of Kerala, the well-wishers of Kerala, people who loved Kerala, came around, extended their helping hand, and helped us to salvage ourselves from this misery. That was the biggest rescue effort. The rescue effort was not about helicopters flying in and flying out people. The rescue effort was of large number of people who reached out through mails, through voice calls, through their contributions, through their advices to help Kerala out. And within a very short period, we have been able to recover ourselves to some extent. But then we again sat together and we discussed this internally, and our Honorable Chief Minister had taken a very bold, along with the entire political diaspora, had taken a bold decision that we would use this as an opportunity to build back Kerala better. This again caught the imagination of the people who supported us during this calamity. And we, in the Hyper IT Committee and in the government, we thought that it would be a very good opportunity to link this rebuild process to the hash future conversation which we had initiated. We would reach out to a larger community and seek their advice, seek their opinions, seek their suggestions, share, learn from their experience on how to rebuild Kerala in the new context. It is, when this was being discussed, we realized that a very important element of rebuilding or building back better would be how do we design this whole program? How do we design the approach to this rehabilitation or rebuilding program? What would be the individual components of this rebuilding element? How do we design each of these individual elements as well? And how to ensure that such designs are futuristic, how to ensure that such designs really aid in creating a knowledge society. While we were discussing this, the Copenhagen Institute of Interactive Design came forth with an offer that they want to do a summer school on design, various aspects of design in India, and we graciously requested them to consider Kochi as an option, especially in the backdrop of Binale. The institute agreed, and the summer school has started here. It's a 1-month summer school. It has started happening here from December 3rd. So we had the summer school, we had the Kochi Muziris Binale, we had a huge challenge ahead of us of rebuilding Kerala after the floods. We had this tremendous support coming from various parts of the world, from people who love Kerala, to help us rebuild a better Kerala. And that is when we thought, why don't we have something similar to #future, focusing on design. And that is how we are here today. This Hash Design Summit, the first Hash Design Summit which we are having today, is a very humble beginning. It's an experimentation. We are really not sure what will be the results be. But I hope over a period of time, the next 2 to 3, I was associated with the first Kochi Muziris Binale as well. So when this Binale was being structured, the whole fear in us, it's a native inherent fear in every Malayali, is that whether we'll be able to pull it off, whether it will work. So the Binale worked. Binale first year had some glitches, second edition of Binale, it became perfect. So we hope #future, the summit, the Kochi's Design Summit also would become a major event in the calendar of Kerala. It will become a major property, intellectual property of Kerala, and it would add value to building of a new society and a new geography. We were since we were devastated by floods and there was a very tough control on spending government money on any such events, we also faced the challenge of running this program with zero budget practically. It was at that point of time, Zara, the company, the famous company came forward, and the entire management team came forward. They had a conversation with us. They listened to what we were trying to do through this summit. They offered to be the title sponsor of this first event. They also offered to consider setting up an innovation facility of Sera in Kerala to work closely with startups in redesigning Sera products for the future. So we have made a partnership with Sera. Thank you, Sera team, for helping us pull this off at this stage. And, but for them, I don't think this event would have happened since we were not in a position to spend any money on an event of this sort. So we have just started this program. Today is the inaugural session. Tomorrow we have 1 full day of deliberations. Honorable Chief Minister would be joining us for the valedictory function. And whatever the products the ideas which we create, the products which we talk about, the installations will be here for the next 1 week in the Bolgatty premises. And this whole design week, the design summit, the design school of Copenhagen Institute of Interactive Design, all would merge with the Biennale, which is also getting opened tomorrow. So this is the background. So we are just designing a future. We are just experimenting with designing a future. We are just starting a conversation about experimenting to design a better Kerala future here. I would like to welcome all of you who have accepted our invitation and are attending this function. We would request all of you to contribute immensely to the success of this program in the context of what I mentioned as the backdrop, and provide us with guidance, advice, and your views on how we can take this conversation forward. I would particularly like to welcome Shri Shibulal, Chairman of Hyper IT Committee, and who has kindly agreed to inaugurate this, and also SAJI and Hannah of CIID who are here, and I would welcome all of you and request you to be part of this conversation for the next 2 days. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Shivashankar, for telling us the story behind SERA Design Kerala Summit and also setting the context for these 2 days. As he rightly mentioned, it is the High Power IT Committee Government of Kerala that's the key force behind the organizing of a summit and the design week of this scale. And the main man behind that is the chairman of the committee, Mr. S.D. Shibulal. He will now be inaugurating this summit in the presence of other dignitaries. I'd like to request all of you to step forward and move towards the ceremonial lamp to light the lamp and inaugurate the first ever SERA Design Kerala Summit, which is the flagship event of SERA Kochi Design Week. Mr. S.D. Shibulal, Chairman of the High Power IT Committee, Government of Kerala, is lighting the first wick. Ms. Anna Laura Farias, Head of Summer School, CIID. Mr. Shivashankar IAS, Secretary of Electronics and IT and also Secretary to Chief Minister of Kerala. Mr. P.K. Shashidharan, Senior Vice President of Marketing, SERA, our title sponsor. And finally, Dr. SAJI GOPINATH, Chief Executive Officer of Kerala Startup Mission. The lamp is lit for the first ever SERA Design Kerala Summit, kick-starting SERA Kochi Design Week. I now invite Mr. S.D. Shibulal for his inaugural address.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's a great pleasure for me to be here. It's indeed a pleasure for me to inaugurate the first Cash Design Summit in Kochi. Nowadays, whenever I go for a conference, I think I get asked this question with talk about artificial intelligence, deep learning, machine learning. Many times I get this question from the audience that when will our job disappear? when will the computers take over my job? You know, for example, radiologists worry that image analytics will take over the job. I think this is one group which should not worry about it. This is one group whose work can never be taken over by computers and artificial intelligence. You are the creative group. You are the people with imagination. You are the people who have the design skills. And I don't ever think that computers and artificial intelligence will be able to take over your job. I think that's a great thing, right? You heard about HPIC, SIVASANKAR talked about it. I think it was an interesting journey over the last 12 months. Whenever you start on one of these journeys, of course there is a little bit of doubt, little bit of cynicism. Of course I was told that working with the government is always a bit difficult. But as SIVASANKAR said, I think it has been a good journey. Hash Future happened, now Hash Design is happening, and on the way we have been able to, I think, I don't know whether most of you have met Arun, Harshan and Ajit, who joined as the CM Fellows. They are the evangelists of Kerala. They have been evangelizing Kerala over the last 12 months. A few companies have come into Kerala with their, for example, Airbus has opened up an innovation center in Kerala. Nissan just launched their design center in Trivandrum. So I think there has been a number of successes over the last 12 months from this effort. During this journey, one of the things which we needed to do was to come up with a Kerala story. Because I remember when we started on this journey, whenever we were talking to people, inviting them to come to Kerala to be part of Hash Future, to experience Kerala, there was a bit of question. What is the Kerala story? What is unique about Kerala? How will you actually position Kerala? And I think one of the things which evolved during this process was a very solid Kerala journey, Kerala story. I think Kerala in many ways is different. It is unique in many ways. It is a small state. It is spread out. It has probably the highest literacy rate anywhere in India in compared to even most part of the world. Lowest infant mortality rate. Very highly empowered state. And if you look at this room, the ratio between ladies and men are not that bad. So this you may not see in many other states. I think our women are highly educated, equal footing. So in many ways, it is a pretty unique state with a lot of differentiation. It also is a very connected state. It is very well connected. You have 30 million people who are willing and able consumers. So anyone who is coming to Kerala, it is not about just coming to Kerala. They can also be part of the economy. They can actually build businesses in Kerala, which they may not be able to do in other parts of India. So I think when we created this story about Kerala, I think we could come up with a number of important differentiators which are in many ways unique to Kerala. Of course, with K-Phone and various other initiatives happening in Kerala, Kerala is going to get even more connected, which means that Kerala will present itself with a very strong consumer base for digital services. And I think that story did resonate with the people whom we met, with the companies whom we met. So many of the companies who looked at Kerala for employment and creating employment looked at it more as a two-way track rather than a one-way track that we will go and invest. It was not the only thing they were looking at. They were looking at not only investing, they were looking at participating in Kerala. Which was, I think, once the story evolved and once we were able to talk about it, it looked like a very good story. So in that background, when you look at rebuilding Kerala, I think it is very important that we think about the design. SIVASANKAR was talking about it, and I think in that sense it is a very good start. Because most often we rebuild. What rebuild is actually rebuilding. That means building what was in the past, building what we experienced before, building what what we had or what we thought was the right thing to do. But I think there is an opportunity to think differently in this occasion, because this is a massive effort. We had a massive challenge. There is a massive effort in front of us. If you design well, design for the next 100 years, not design for the next 10 years, I think that there is a great opportunity for fundamentally looking at newer paradigms and leapfrogging. And making sure that the uniqueness of Kerala, which we find today, with high literacy rate, with lowest in mortality, highly empowered population, very digitally connected, those uniqueness will not last for 100 years, which means we need to build new uniqueness, which will be there, which will last for the next 50, 60 years. In that sense, when I thought about it, I was talking about it before also. Can we imagine a Kerala which will have zero carbon footprint? Can we design a Kerala which will have zero carbon footprint? This has not been achieved very well in any other part of the world, but it will be achieved in the next 50, 100 years. Now that we are thinking of rebuilding Kerala, now that we are thinking of rebuilding Kerala, can we think of a Kerala which will have zero carbon footprint? Which means that renewable energy, no use of fuel, and various other things, and can you think of a Kerala in the next 50 years which will be completely carbon neutral? No, will not produce. Because many of these calamities which we talk about, the climate change, the weather pattern, variations which are impacting us today are linked to carbon. And if you can actually create a role model for the world, a state, because this is not possible for India. India is 1 billion people. It is so large that you cannot do these kinds of experiments. You cannot aspire for such things for such a large country. But whereas there is 30 million people, a state like Kerala is more like Singapore or any other smaller countries. We can imagine, we can actually aspire and imagine for such things. Can we imagine a Kerala which is zero waste, zero discharge? It is not about just simply create. Kerala, for example, cannot have a centralized waste management system because we are so spread out, which means that we need decentralized waste management system. But it is not only about waste management system. Can we re-architect the products? Can we reuse? Can we actually look at new ways of reusing products? Can we refuse some of the products? Can we look for a state which will have zero waste? Waste is a huge problem for us. I think we don't have enough landfill to fill our waste. It creates health issues for us. So can we reimagine? Can we redesign Kerala to be a zero waste state? And one other dream I have is can you create a state with zero currency, complete digital currency? It's already moving forward in that direction, but can we actually aim for a state which will have zero cash currency, which will all be digital? Every single transaction will be digital. So if you design something like this, which will last for the next 50 years, the uniqueness of Kerala will continue. And imagine the amount of innovation one needs to do. These are not, imagine the amount of employment it will create. Imagine the amount of intellectual property it will create. And these intellectual property, this employment will really create tremendous amount of economic activity for us. So I think there is an opportunity for us to reimagine Kerala. This is an excellent initiative towards that. I think design is the foundation on which you can reimagine, because by the time you start execution, you are completely stuck. You are on a path which cannot be changed. But my challenge to all of you is to actually reimagine it for the next 50 years, next 100 years. Not based on our experience, but based on a purpose. The purpose that we will build a Kerala which will completely be a role model, which will also create employment, which will also create economic activity, which will also create innovation, which will also create other kind of benefits for the state. So with those words, once again, it's my pleasure to inaugurate this event. I wish you all the best. And my congratulations to each and everyone who has organized this, and once again welcome to all of you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for underscoring the importance in organizing such a summit and also the opportunity that we have at hand in designing a new Kerala. I now invite Dr. SAJI GOPINATH for his special address.
Good afternoon. Dignitaries on the stage, off the stage, friends. It's a privilege to be a part of Design Week and Design Summit. As Shivashankar and Mr. Shibulal said, it's a follow-up of HASH Future, where we have been exposed by the experts across the world how the future is shaping up and how are the roles Kerala can get into this future bandwagon. I think this is a right next step where we are looking at the HASH design. We know that the world is undergoing a major change. We used to hear about this all throughout. But I think three important points are there in this new technology revolution which is relevant in our context. First, it's about convergence. We know that conventionally we were looking at everything in silos. So all the new technologies looks at more from an integrated perspective. Whether it is physical sciences, whether it is digital world, whether it is biological world, all of them are getting fused. Same is the case with the functional thinking also. Many of you sitting here who are engineers, if you are studied in 80s and 90s, when you have a design subject, that's basically been taught from a technical angle. I was a mechanical engineer, I had done a course on machine design. But I have been always taught on the type of stress and type of design elements which goes into that particular machine. I was never taught how a customer is going to use it, how the product is going to be in the way finally the end user is going to use. We were only worried about the type of the safety and many other aspects of it. Same is the case with, let's look at a conventional designer per se, who may be basically looking at the aspects of aesthetics, the other design elements, but very rarely look at the typical challenges of what technology faces. There's a classic case where, I'm sure many of you heard about this story, where a small kid was afraid to get into a CT scan machine when he was to undergo the CT scan. And that's the time the founder of the CT scan started and thinking that I have designed a CT scan machine without thinking about the customer. You can now imagine if you take a small kid to a CT scan machine and how that kid will feel, because it was such a it's a very, very horrible experience. And then you have a story continues that there is a design element coming into it and it come out to be a playful place and people started liking it. But the point which I want to stress is that when you actually think about fusing and convergence, you are basically thinking about user-centric design. What Copenhagen Institute of Interactive Design says that every interaction has to be designed if you really wanted to make the best out of it. And that needs the convergence of technology, convergence of design principles, etc. So that's the first point. The second point is the new world is also about the scale. Most of our solutions require scale, and most of our problems require solutions at a very, very large scale. And the technology and the related elements are of that nature. So how do you actually make some product, a service system, a solution which can actually solve at a scale is the second point. And I think today in the world, we wanted people who develop such products and services per se. The third is also about how do you make it as efficient and effective as possible. The point which Shibulal spoke about zero waste, zero carbon emission, zero non-digital currency. When you look at, we are basically looking at how do we eliminate the waste part in this. We require a frugal but very effective innovation per se. Now, if you put all the three elements together, the element of convergence, the element of the scale, and the element of eliminating the wastage, we have a right solution for how to rebuild the Kerala. Because the rebuilding Kerala requires large amount of resources. We cannot afford to waste even a penny of that. We wanted to make it as efficient, as effective as possible. The scale of that is so large that we cannot think about the 30 or 40 years which Kerala took to build it, to rebuild it in a better place. We have much, much smaller time. So we have problems which has to be addressed at scale at a very short period of time. Third, it cannot be addressed again in silos. It requires a convergence per se. And I think the Design Week, the Design Summit is basically going to discuss on many of these aspects in these next 2 days. How do you actually use technology? How do you actually use the intelligence? How do you actually use the multiple concepts from different fields together to come out with sustainable, resilient solutions which will take Kerala to the next stage. So we were looking at HASH future, we were dreaming about the future. HASH design is basically to put that into paper so that we will have the design elements in place. So that people who are driving this, all of us who are driving it, will have the right roadmap to take it forward.
Discussing the details of that as well. Our next speaker is the owner of a super creative mind, and she is the person who's leading from the forefront the summer school that's going on in Kochi, which is being organized by Copenhagen Institute of Interactive Design. It's a pleasure to invite onto the podium for her special address, Ms. Ana Laura Farias.
Hi everybody, thank you so much for inviting the Copenhagen Institute of Interaction Design to be part of this amazing event. And I would love to share a little bit what are we doing, not only in the event but in next door. And I will say that in a couple of seconds. I just want to take 1 minute to share with you our understanding of design and the way that we approach to it. The economic and environmental and social issues we're facing right now, it will require for us to be very bold, very strategic, and very innovative. And for us to be, yes, great, thanks. I think it requires from us to be very innovative and very strategic, and for us to be able to find the right solutions, as they were mentioned before, to all the issues that we're facing, not only in Kerala, but in many parts of the planet. So in order for us to find these progressive solutions, we need to involve everyone of the society. So at some point, all of us need to become designers, regardless what is your background. So the Copenhagen Institute believes that it doesn't matter if you are if you're an engineer or if you're a performer or a chef. You have the capacity to design any product or service or any interaction better, to be more efficient, and also not only taking care of the human as the person that needs that design of that product or service, but also to take care of the planet. Right now, the Copenhagen Institute of Interaction Design has brought to India for the first time one of our programs that is called the Summer School. And we brought 10 different workshops that I will share with you in a second. And because we're very far from Copenhagen, I would love to show a video for you to see a little bit what happens whenever we have a lot of different minds working together, putting ideas together, exchanging the perspective that they have in the issues, and of course using different methodologies and different technologies that are right now available for all of us to use it and to apply this. So I'm just gonna, is that okay? I'm gonna try to play the video to share a little bit about what we do back in Copenhagen. Alright, in the meantime, that we have some technical issues, always technology is also play tricks on us. I will share a little bit about the summer school. Right now we have, alright, so we go through here. I'll let you watch it. as you saw in the video, we in the Copenhagen Institute of Interaction Design, we play a lot with technology, and we use artificial intelligence, machine learning, and many other tools to create solutions for these problems that we face now. So one of the aspects of the Institute is to come abroad into different cities and different countries to try to transmit the importance of design. So the summer school is a way of us to bring in this to life and bringing these new skills and helping participants to acquire these skills and these methodologies in their everyday life, hoping that if we invite people coming from governments, from startups, from non-profits, from the private sector, and even students that they haven't graduated, to understand the methodologies of design and apply them or embed them in their process of existence, we truly believe that we will have a completely better planet. So in that framework, we brought the summer school, which is an educational platform that encompasses a lot of different workshops. We have around more than 35 different types of workshops, and they all are in the intersection between digital technologies, design thinking, and interaction design skills and innovation. And right now we brought 10. And then we have a program of 3 weeks. Each workshop will happen in 5 days. And we're here to unlock the creative potential of the participants that they come and join us. Very interesting part of the workshops held here in Kerala is that many of the workshops had a context of teaching. And this context of teaching was the Kerala floodings. That sad event that happened last August is now for us an inspiration in each of the classes to understand how are we going to equip better? How are we going to be able to solve any or respond to any natural disaster that we just experienced? And not only to rebuild Kerala, but also to be more prepared, also to be able to collaborate together in groups. Because whenever you have a natural disaster like that, you're not sitting in a team that you wish to work with. Everyone just stands up and do something. So whenever you have certain skills, they will be able to work together and arrive some solutions really fast. Another thing that is important about the Copenhagen Institute of Interaction Design is that we have a bigger framework. For us, it's very important to work with the Sustainable Development Goals, that they were these goals that created by United Nations and signed by 192 countries, where as a humanity is the largest brief we ever been able to agree on. We agreed on one of the first goals for me personally is one of the most important is zero poverty. Of course, we're facing a lot of environmental issues and a lot of inequality and many other topics, but all of them they have like an holistic approach, and they will require an holistic approach as well. So I hope you enjoyed this week, and I hope you enjoy all the program that these gentlemen and their teams have put together, because it's a fantastic opportunity for you to grasp a little bit what design as a tool of social change can do for your life and for your colleagues and for where you're working. And to always have in mind that if you're going to design something, whatever it is, it doesn't matter that you're designing a service, a product, an environment, or a trip, you always have the chance to use all creative and tools that you have around it to make that design very, very efficient and very sustainable. So thank you again for inviting the Copenhagen Institute. I hope you can learn more about us, and we're going to be there in the other venue, so if you want to come and share your thoughts and see a little bit more about us. So enjoy your week, and thank you again so much. Thanks.
It is quite clear in Ms. Anna's words how she has imbibed the particular problem that Kerala faces now in the aftermath of the floods, of redesigning a new state indeed. And thank you, Ms. Anna, for doing the brilliant work that you're doing at the summer school here. Loud round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, particularly for that. And now, to felicitate this gathering, I'd like to call on stage Mr. P.K. Shashidharan, Senior Vice President of Marketing, SERA.
dignitaries on the dais, technocrats, designers and architects. Sarah has been a household name for close to almost 4 decades. That's why when Kerala was reeling under the flood fury, we at Ahmedabad felt the pain, and all of us contributed voluntarily one day salary, and senior people like me and many others contributed much more. And when this opportunity came up for associating with Design Week, we thought it's the right opportunity for us to be part of this Rebuilding Kerala initiative. That's why we jumped onto it. Now, any design suggestions for the product that will come up from this Design Week, we will be more than willing to co-create it. One of the days when we were probably flushing down 12 liters per flush, today we have done our own research and development, and the per flush it is only 3.5 liters. In fact, further research is on that we can reduce it to 2.5 or even 2 liters. And probably you are not aware that it was Sarah which brought the twin flush concept in the country for the first time. So that when a WC is used in a household as a urinal plus a WC, we need not flush 6 liter or 8 liter, it can be just 2.5 liters when it's used as a urinal. And I'm sure this is going to be a huge success, and I wish all the organizers all the best, and we will be more than willing to chip in terms of design, in terms of co-creating the products out of the outcome of this. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for your presence here and also for doing what you're doing for this Design Week. Because like Shivashankar sir said, without the support of Sarah, our title sponsor, this event wouldn't have been possible. So please let us express our gratitude, yes, in the form of an applause. With that, we come to the close of the inaugural ceremony of Sarah Design Kerala Summit on stage. I now request all the dignitaries to join the audience to give way to our first keynote speaker,